Well, we tipped him, obviously, but we
gave him a little tip and thanked him. And like Dan said, these guys, that's what they all do all days, listen for people to get stuck there. And the Rangers said if we wanted to have the car towed, they charged $375
cash, you know.
I'm sure cash. Well, Bill's not
either that or a viable credit card.
No, but they do charge $375 to make a road call because it is considered off the road, and they charge whatever they want. It's not regulated.
Well, you know what you learn in Marketing 101? You learn whatever the market will bear.
Supply and demand.
That's right.
I think that my lesson is that we all work together. Felix and I we argued a little bit here and there, but we laughed. I laughed and cried at the same time. But
listen, you have to do that. Well, it's the only way to survive.
We have sort of, we've done this a couple of times, gone off-roading, and we normally try to go in the morning and hit this Columbia farmers market, and we enjoy a nice breakfast of
Wawa. Don't forget Wawas.
Don't forget Wawa, yeah.
But first, the Amish country comes, the Amish people, and we were both looking for one of those delicious Amish breakfasts with their homemade bacon and homemade sausages.
Well, I heard they roll out the red carpet when they know Felix is coming.
Yeah, but it was 11:20, and they stopped serving at 11.
I think you should tell Michael Douglas about that. Remember falling down when he goes into the fast food store?
Yeah, go right.
It was 2 minutes after 11, and he wanted breakfast, and they said they stopped serving breakfast, and he took out this machine gun and started spraying the place.
Yeah, that's falling, yeah. I remember that.
So we wound up not having breakfast, not really eating there, because we said, well, another tradition of ours is we like to go to a place called Harold's New York-style deli, which makes some of the biggest and tastiest sandwiches around in the area. Very enjoyable, nice big pastrami or corned beef or whatever you like. And one sandwich will feed 3-4 people. It's a very
tremendous potato latkes and fries with cheese.
Well, I want to further our conversation, but to close out this weekend thing, Felix, after that, I froze my Tootsies off at Marianne's son's football game. I sat outside for 3 hours, freezing. So I'm like, I got cold twice. I couldn't believe it.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, this morning at work, my toes still felt cold.
My toes still feel cold. Hey, Mark, I got a question for you. Another change, topic change. Mandela. You know a lot more about him than I do.
Oh, I don't know about that, but what did you want to know?
I want to know, but I heard he was a communist, a socialist communist.
Well, in his early years, they have pictures of him with Castro.
Right.
They have pictures of him with the leaders of China. But it was really China who taught him how to become a capitalist. Because China had already adopted capitalism.
Right. Okay.
I mean, they certainly we owe them enough money. But the bottom line is he was willing to do whatever he could to benefit his country. So, he was friendly with this one and that one. It's like you take a little bit from here and a little bit from there.
No, but we're talking about his early days when he was.
His early days, right?
Well, he was on the watch list. But really, I think he best described himself. I heard this on one of the news shows. After one of his speeches, I just want you to know, Dan, that Felix is now hitting the bottle, literally. He's pouring a little Black Label into his cup.
Nothing wrong with that. It's okay.
So, but in any event, a young boy of about 16 went up to him and said, would you like to be remembered as a saint? And he said, no. He says, I'm not a saint. He said, I'm a sinner who gets up all the time and tries to do better. Okay? And when you think about it, he had his faults. Martin Luther King had his faults.
Yeah, absolutely.
They compare him to King. Well, both of them had faults, but both of them knew that what they were trying to do was bigger than themselves.
But,
Okay.
the funny thing was who put them... But I'm just sorry. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I just on the news, I'm hearing that, us, like Carter, Jimmy Carter helped put him, us in the United States helped put him away. But now all of a sudden we are celebrating what he did.
What do you mean put him away? In prison?
Yeah, Carter.
No, he was put in prison in 1962.
I said, right. Well, us, he was against. I guess we Americans saw him as a.
Well, the Americans. It took a while for all Americans to finally demonstrate against the apartheid in South Africa.
Right.
I mean, big business was doing, very well. Very well represented in South Africa with the white minority. But I think one thing that Mandela brings to the table is that he comes to the table with no animosity or hatred toward anyone. Not toward his jailers, not toward the white Afrikaners. I mean, he truly believed in forgive and forget. Let's just forget about what happened, what you did to me. We have to move forward from here. If we are going to have a viable country without bloodshed, then we have to come together. And when you look at all the mourners, okay, when you see the white faces in the crowds, and heck, I even saw a little kid with a yarmulke, okay?
Right.
Bringing a card and putting it, at his ancestral home,
Right.
In Zuma, and I mean, he truly touched a lot of people.
I can see that.
in
You see all
his
the,
country.
obviously, you see on the news, it's, Jesus, the flowers
People
and everything.
really don't realize what he did and how.
The extremes.
After spending 27 years in jail, having no animosity towards his jailers,
In fact,
inviting them to, I think, his inauguration.
the one jailer who he became friendly with, who taught him how to speak Afrikaner so he can read the newspaper, he had compassion, and he was invited to Mandela's inauguration, and he will be at the funeral. He said, "I feel like I lost a friend."
Well, also, I don't know if you know that, he was also, before he went into jail, he was a lawyer,
Yes.
graduated law school, and opened up the first black law firm in South Africa.
Very true.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you guys for not advice, just your opinions. That's new to me. Obviously, it's way before my time, Mandela.
Something, there are a lot of, the two real people of the group that he's considered in, who I could see being without sin, was Mother Teresa and very possibly Gandhi. Okay? But like I said, Martin Luther King had his faults, Mandela had his faults. They were just human beings who tried to rise above whatever faults they had, because they were, and I use the word fighting in quotation marks, fighting for something larger and something better. Okay?
Mandela, who's very non-violent, liked to watch boxing. That was his favorite sport.
Well, actually, he started out as a young boxer. He enjoyed it, but when he went into prison, he said he tried to maintain his stamina. He wasn't allowed to box or anything, but he tried to keep busy, do calisthenics or whatever, I guess anything to, because I don't know how much, if he got a book to read or a newspaper, I'm sure it was something smuggled in by the guard. I don't think he was allowed to have anything.
I don't know if he had much interaction with other prisoners. I don't know. That part of it, I don't know. But,
Well, they did say that eventually the prisoners sort of formed a coalition because they wanted to bring to the forefront the deplorable conditions in the prison itself. So, at one point, he didn't say whether he was one of the instrumental people involved in this, but he did say that he joined in, and some change was made, but obviously, Not very much. I mean, let's face it. Even the prisons here in our country, is it really a place where somebody, learns when they're released to go out on the street and actually find a job if they can and earn a living or a trade?
No, probably not.
No, a two-bit, robber becomes an expert. Maybe he becomes a bank robber next time. I mean, what can you say? Actually, you just want to survive in prison. You don't want to become somebody's you-know-what.
I don't know what. What do you mean?
Somebody's bitch.
Beach?
Yeah.
Dan, you spent some time in jail, didn't you?
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, but wasn't like that.
Well, you didn't exactly. You
remember Alice's Restaurant? No. What am I saying? You're 25 years younger than us, or younger than me. Arlo Guthrie wrote a song, Alice's Restaurant. And he's arrested for littering. And he says when he's in prison, he's sitting there on the bench with all the mother rapers and the father rapers and everybody else. And they said, "What are you in for, kid?" And he says, "I'm a litterer." And they all moved away from him like he had meningitis or something, or AIDS. They didn't want to be associated with him, because all he did was litter while they were really, murderers.
Right.
But it was a funny, long song, needless to say. But that was before your time.
Yeah. I'm actually watching a funny, not funny. It's I'm watching obviously about Bonnie and Clyde. I'm watching. They have a series on a two-part series, Bonnie and Clyde. So fascinating, Bonnie and Clyde. How they came about, what they're doing, and what they did.
They weren't very nice, were they?
Matter of fact, I DVR it and I'm watching it. But I watched the first series last night, and just how they came about, Bonnie and Clyde. What a story! I mean, it's recording now as I'm talking to you guys, but wow, it's fascinating. I know a little bit about the whole story, but not how they're depicting it in this History Channel. Jeez.
I don't know too much about them. I have nothing to say.
I know. I heard about them. I knew a little bit about.
The only thing I know was it was Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
Yeah, right. Faye, no, but they have a new. They came up with a new. Right, exactly.
I know there's a new one coming out.
It just came out now. We're watching. I'm just being recorded now. New one just came out.
Was it a History Channel something?
Yeah, right. You can probably watch it. Hang up the phone on me and watch it now. If
it'll be repeated. It's okay. Or we could watch it on demand or something.
Right, exactly. But this was a totally different version of Warren Beatty. I mean, that was a fascinating one. But I learned this. They went all the way back to childhood, what happened. I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm flabbergasted with how they depict it. So.
Well, I don't know anything about it, so I can't comment.
Yeah, no, you just watch it. That's on as we speak. It's on History Channel. So.
Yeah, but I know they killed a lot of people.
Hey, Mark, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Yeah, business-wise, political stuff, anything.
Everybody knows how I feel. I am a progressive liberal. That's what my tendencies seem to be. I will tell you that I went to the doctor today, and we were talking, and of course Obamacare came up because I had asked him, and he was probably the first physician who wasn't totally negative about it, but he did bring up a good point. He said, he agrees with me that people have to give it a chance to work. That at the beginning they're going to be paying high premiums or whatever, but as more and more people register for insurance, that the cost will come down. But he said, the people who never paid for insurance before, who would go into a hospital, and everything would be paid for, now have a deductible.
Right.
He said if you take the bronze policy, which is the cheapest one,
right.
You got about a $6,000 deductible, and you're paying $300